welcome back to the Unprofessional Fives, episode 2 of season 3, the Pro Series. We've got Team Blue. Let's introduce some of the players. Andrea Cassar, aka The Cat. Get used to seeing him on your screen. Absolutely incredible goalkeeper, also known as No Cap, because he hasn't been capped by the national team, much to everyone's surprise in Malta. We've got Smiley, aka Ivan Bojovic, Luka Gat, Gianluca Zami, and Luka Mijic, also known as Sharpshooter. Ivan and Luka are also new to the season. We've got on Team Red, Brandon Pops de Bono. Everyone knows Pops by now. Season 2 standout. Also made his return in Season 3, Episode 1 with a very good performance. The one-arm bandit. We've got Charles Gandini, Donis Quintero, Sean Elul, and Jideli Mihaly, aka Big Mish, Gargoyles striker. We saw him last episode. Really impressed my co-commentator on with me today, Steve Spisteri. Say hello, Steve.
Yeah, guys, back again. Excited for this match.
So, guys, looking at some of the players, there's a few faces that we want to tell you about early. Obviously, the one on the ball right now is Sean Elul. You would have recognised him from the final episode of Season 2. Made his debut at the Fives. We wanted to keep him for a little bit longer, but we had a bit of trouble trying to get him into the games. Finally managed to make his debut, and I'd heard a lot of good things about him. And let's just say, I wasn't disappointed, Steve.
No.
5 goals in one game. I think he's earned the right to be here. Obviously, we had a little bit of issues scheduling the first 2 games. They started with filming a little bit early. A few players were still on holiday. And I decided Sean had earned the right from that one-game wonder performance to get involved in the Pro Series. Obviously, he's not a professional player. Currently playing with Santa Venera Lightning in the Amateur League. He's also had experience playing with Maliha and some other teams, Luxor, I think, as well. Very good player. Very, very good player.
Yeah, very technical on the ball. Knows exactly what he's doing. He's shown that he can keep up in the other games, so hopefully he can hold his own with the pro players. So let's see how that goes.
He's a main player in the Vibes season. Obviously, that's going to be season 4. That's also been in recording at the same time as this. But I decided, we needed one more player, and he seemed to fit the bill. So we're going to throw him into the deep end, see how he gets on today. Will he sink? Will he swim? Time will tell. But I think he's definitely got the right attributes that are needed to succeed in five-a-side, especially at this level. He is a very regular five-a-side player. As you see there, he almost redirects the ball into the bottom corner there and catches Andrea off guard. Luka on the ball, cuts inside, tries to play the ball through. That was a wicked ball, straight through 2 players there. And Gianluca, also known as the poacher, doing what he does best.
Definitely. Just waiting in the box, and just as we saw in episode 1, just waiting to receive those really good balls from Luka. Just waiting to score that just one-touch finish goal.
You can see him there again, just hovering around the goalkeeper. Every goalkeeper's nightmare as he just sits there cherry-picking in front of him, waiting for the right opportunity to pounce. Mish on the ball, plays it out wide to Donis, aka Twinkle Toes. Is he going to show us something special, or is he going to choose to play it safe? He skips around, plays it through, and just like that, the creator, Donis Quintero, makes something out of nothing.
Definitely, that goal was definitely created by him. Mish obviously taking the right position and moving in the exact time to receive that ball, but definitely amazing finish from Mish and amazing setup by Donis.
Yeah, that little burst of acceleration there from Donis, very hard to keep up with. I mean, he is one of the fastest players in Malta, and that little half a yard of acceleration, exactly why he is feared by most defenders. And like you said, Mish's movement, don't sleep on it. That little fadeaway just to drop. A lot of players would carry on their run into the middle and end up getting intercepted, but he just dropped off. He saw the defender coming forwards and dropped off into the space, and Donis just had an easy cut back there, and that's a simple finish. 1-0 Red, early lead. 4 minutes in, we've got our first goal. We always like it in the Fives when a goal is scored early, as it's always much more entertaining. Getting caught out there, and Mish probably should have finished that one. Andrea rarely caught out, but again, this is where we see the best of Andrea. Very hard to score against. And lovely little 1-2 there. And how has Andrea pulled off another save there? That's a double save from Andrea. Luka getting the ball trapped between his feet, but he's managed to hold on to it, and now he drives into space. It's 3v2, lovely footwork, and Sean does well to recover there. He gets beaten in the first try, but gets back in. Ball played across. Almost a very good goal there.
Yeah, good save by Pops. Has to be said that the team is very balanced now. In the first 5 minutes, we're seeing great movement and great ball play from both of the teams, both creating chances and both not taking full advantage of those chances.
Yeah, that's definitely something to take note of. Obviously, the first episode saw the Season 2 All-Stars, so the best of the unsigned players taking on the pros, and we saw the golfing quality between the two teams. Obviously, as the game went into the later periods, the fitness, the experience and the technical advantages all started to play their part. Today, I think we're going to have a much more balanced game. Obviously, the whole group, besides Sean, are professional players, and this is where you're really going to start to see quality from both ends. And the second anyone switches off, it's going to get punished. Luca on the ball now, trying to shimmy around and find some space, and Pops has done a good job there just to block it. And Charles Gandini making his fourth appearance in the Fives. Obviously, we saw him last season in Season 2. He had just come back from a 1.5 year long injury that had kept him out and forced him to go back home to Brazil. He's back in Malta now after that injury. We saw him slowly improve throughout Season 2. The first 2 episodes we saw him play in, we could see wasn't quite there, a little bit tired, his touches weren't as sharp as they usually are, and he was just adjusting to getting the ball at his feet again. Then we saw that heroic return at the end in episode 10 where he put in a man of the match performance. Really strong, really good game. I think he was scoring goals, 4 assists, 2 goals. Really, really good performance. So if you haven't seen that episode yet, go and check out episode 10, the season finale. We finished with a bang, unfortunately the wrong kind of bang. Miguel Falzon unfortunately tore his ACL in that game. Let's just quickly jump back in there. Sean Alul, the best of the unsigned there, popping up at the back post. Great finish. Donis Quintero, the creator, once again. Look at that Revy, just disguised pass, back post. And that's a great one-time finish there from Sean, really showing that he's got that killer instinct in front of goal, much that we've seen from Gianluca. He's also got the similar poacher's instincts, something that we might see throughout the game prove very, very good for him as he pushes the ball out to Mish. 2-0 to the red team. They are on the verge of getting away with the game here, and that's a very good save there from Andrea.
Yeah, it has to be said. We have to see if these chances that the red team aren't capitalizing on are going to come back and haunt them in the end. But amazing save there by the keeper.
I think Andrea is going to have a very, very strong performance this season. I think that's the one thing we've really managed to make sure of in Season 3. The goalkeepers, week in, week out, have been absolutely rock solid. Something that obviously in Season 2 we had issues with, coming and calling goalkeepers in last minute. Unknown entities stepping into the Fives, and if your goalkeeper's not quite ready to play, it makes a big difference on the scoreline. And I think this season we really made sure we secured the services of, I think, 5 goalkeepers in total played in Season 3, including yourself.
Yeah, I played 1 game.
Got a 1-game call up for you.
Yeah, I made my debut.
Obviously, we do see a lot more of Steve in the Vibes season. That's where we get to see the best of Steve. But yeah, he filled in, had a good game as well. You'll see that coming up in the next few weeks. And yeah, the goalkeepers have really made it difficult for the strikers to score. Like you have to take your chances here. Otherwise, the goalkeepers aren't going to give you easy goals.
No, definitely not. And it adds confidence to the team that you're playing for as well. You definitely don't want to be victim of having a keeper who can't keep up with the rest of the level of play. The rest of the team isn't going to be able to play as comfortably as they could or should if they don't have that confidence in their keeper.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely an important point to remember, is when a team... Another great save from Andrea. Snapshot there from Mish. I think that little man, big man combination of Sean and Big Mish is really starting to come to fruition here, as they're making some really nice combination plays.
No, definitely played across with their team.
Luca doing a very good job there to shield Big Mish, and the pickpocket Charles Gandini comes and picks up the ball. Going back to Charles, obviously we're seeing Charles now really starting to come into his own. Looks a lot sharper than he did in Season 2, and I think this is going to be a continuous progression that we're going to see from Charles. as he's looking to get himself signed. He's definitely hungry again to get himself a football contract over here in Malta, and a player that a team should take a chance on, because when he's at his best, he is phenomenal. We've seen it throughout his time at Fgora United. When he's at his best, very hard to take the ball off him. Very calm, very composed at the back. His passing range is like a sat-nav. You put the location you want the ball and he's going to put it right there on the money for you. So yeah, teams out there looking for a big strong centre-back with a lot of experience that can play out of the back. Definitely keep your eye on Charles Gandini and give him a chance, get him in for trials, have a look at him, because this is a guy that's really going to make a difference in your team, especially in the Challenge League, especially in that amateur league level. If a team has got their forwards sorted with Maltese players and they want to just strengthen the back with a foreigner, that's where someone like Charles, look at that, very, very strong at the back, knows when to come in and just take the ball, and then very composed coming out of it.
Yeah, definitely an asset to any team. He looks very dominant on the ball. His stature and his overall physique definitely helps him be dominant as a defender and centre back, and also shows great vision with his amazing passes and even gets some goals throughout the season.
That's it, he knows when to step forward, he knows when to break the lines and take the ball and command forward. And I definitely think he's one of those players that is going to be in contention for best defender come the end of the season. Sean there making a great block on the line. Luca unable to get off the mark so far. We've seen him take 2 or 3 shots so far, not living up to that sharpshooter moniker. And what you'll see actually from Luca is something that surprised me, is he actually plays in defence in 5-a-side. He's a clinical finisher in 11-a-side, one of the highest goal scorers in Malta when it comes to Challenge League and Amateur League. But when it comes to 5-a-sides, we've seen him take up a much more defensive role, and he's absolutely rock solid at the back and proves to be more of a creator for his team. And you're seeing him putting in a good defensive display already so far, maybe not showing that clinical finishing that I'd expected from him. I actually put him on this team today to try and score some goals for his team, but he surprised me and has taken up a much more rock-solid defensive unit position at the back, and it's proving a good balance for his team. He's really balancing out the team. Donis on the ball, little one around the corner to Sean. Maybe showing a little bit of naivety there, but you look at that desire to win the ball back, straight away goes and wins back possession for his team and carries on ticking the ball. Donis at the ball, the creator as always, just looking to make things happen for his team. Plays the ball through and Mies just couldn't get on the same wavelength as him there, and the ball just trickles out of play. We've got 5 minutes left of the half. Gianluca looking quiet today.
Looking very quiet. He's received some good passes and has had good opportunities in front of goal, but I guess he's just still settling down and still warming up, and as we say, that's a goal.
Yeah, great finish there from Ivan. Blue team, I was just about to mention, really struggling to get themselves off the mark and get into a goal scoring position to help themselves get back into the game, and Ivan has taken it upon himself there to just rob the ball in the middle of the park there, takes it off of Sean again. Sean maybe just getting caught trying to take too many touches on the ball, as you'd expect from a player that's not quite used to playing at this level. And Ivan's punished him, taking it straight off him. Good little movement to shift it onto his right foot, and that's a deadly finish from Smiley. Obviously we give him the nickname Smiley because anyone that knows Ivan, you see him laughing all the time. This guy is a joker. Always making jokes, always laughing, making the morale of his team much better. Definitely a big boost to have in the dressing room. I'm not quite sure what he's doing this season. I know the last team he played with was St George's. I don't think he's being retained by them. So it'll be interesting to see whether he is signed for another season by a team or whether he decides to take a break. I know he's very heavy on the 5-a-side scene in Malta. Plays for the Orthodox Wizards, I believe it is, in, I think it's Goal Line's 5-a-side league. And also has been playing in the Malta Summer League with the Serbians. They have their own team, I think, and he plays with them, and he's a very good asset to them.
Yeah, season after season they show their dominance in the Summer League and in their 5- and 7-a-side teams. So definitely a player who's suited for these types of games as well, and he's showing that as well, keeping the team together but losing the ball there, unfortunately.
Yeah, very good defensive play there from Andrea. Obviously Andrea really holding together the blue team's chances of staying in the game. He's made some big saves so far, Sean getting caught in the ball again, and blue team are going to take back possession, and look at that, comes back and wins the ball. Obviously, as the season goes on, we start to enforce that slide tackle rule a bit more, and something like that would be given as a foul. But I think for the first few games we're a little bit more lenient, especially as I'm on camera duty. You can see me snapping away in the corner, so it's a much harder job to referee and take photos at the same time.
Yeah, much to some players' displeasure, unfortunately. I mean, if you're focusing on one thing and not on the actual gameplay, then they would be expecting you to make certain decisions in the game. But I mean, they're all pros. They all know how to play the game, and they know how to make decisions.
And that is a lovely goal right there. Donis, is that his third assist of the game now?
Yeah, 2 goals, 3 assists.
Little nutmeg pass there across the box, and Mish again just at that back post. Like you said, that futsal style of play that he's used to, just being aware that most goals are scored at the back post. Sit and chill in that area and wait for the ball to come, and then again it's just where does he make the finish at the end, and Mish has proved he's finishing today, 2 goals.
Yeah, but that's one of the things which I mentioned about Mish in last episode as well. For such a big player, he's usually very easy to keep track of, but somehow he, with his amazing movement and fake outs, he manages to always find himself in space, ready to just make that one-touch finish, and definitely always capitalizes on that.
Blue team might get punished there for not taking that chance, and Mish, that's a wicked volley from his own half that almost soared into the top corner. But blue team there, they've had a few chances and they're not taking them, and it really is going to start to add up. 3-1, there's a 2-goal deficit, and they could quite comfortably be on 4 goals right now had they've scored those open goals that they've been missing. Yeah, like we said, Gianluca not looking as sharp as he has been usually. And Andrea makes a big sliding tackle there to stop the ball going into the goal, played back, and Sean blazes that one into the thing. Half time, 3-1. What are your thoughts on the game so far, Steve?
It looks like it's a very balanced game. The Blues definitely need to start capitalizing on the chances created. Apart from Ivan's solo effort from stealing the ball in the middle of the pitch in very bad position for the Reds, and just capitalizing on his own work ethic. They haven't capitalized on anything, really. Red team creating great chemistry between Donis and Mish. Sean showing amazing perseverance and amazing effort to get on the ball. Great addition to the pros, I think.
Yeah, he's got that desire. I think that's what makes up for it. You put a hungry young challenger into a game like this, and they're going to run around, they're going to be busy, and that's what you need is a player with high work rate. Maybe if they can't keep up decision making wise, you just want them to be there to try and win back the ball and show that determination to keep the game equal, you know. And he's been running around, he's been putting his weight, and look at that lovely little footwork like that is what's going to get him far in this league. But decision making to make a poor pass with the outside of the foot, one little move to try and beat the player worked, and then he gets a little bit carried away. It's that naivety, gives the ball straight to Luca, who plays a lovely reverse pass there into the path of Gianluca, who's finally showed up. All he needs is one chance, one touch to set the ball for a volley, and he's absolutely blazed that into the top corner. Great finish from Gianluca. Potential goal of the game so far. Looking at the goals that have been scored so far, I think that sits up there, right?
Right now, definitely, but I think there are still more goals to come in this half, from what we're saying.
Andrea tries to catch Pops off his line. That's going to be a running theme throughout the season, I think, is when people see Pops off his line, are they going to try and catch him off? We saw Mish get the goal last week, obviously, when Pops was off his line, so I think a few more players are going to try it. And the one-arm bandit makes a double save there to cover for the original mistake that he made, giving away possession.
No, Pops definitely needs to start talking with his team more when he's getting off his line, because the opposing team will capitalize on that, especially with the quality of players that's on the pitch. But at the same time, he needs better cover at the back as well. Charles sometimes showing his lack of match fitness, but definitely getting back there and definitely being dominant at the back, as we can see now as well.
Very, very composed at the back. Little touches like that are what really makes him stand out. Ball played forward, it's been given away. Charles unable to get it under control. Luca again using that quick thinking that he used to score that goal in the last game, where he caught the other team sleeping at the free kick. Remember, guys, every set play is direct. So the second you see the ball go out of play, if the goalkeeper's not paying attention or the defence aren't paying attention, spot the ball, take the shot, get the goal, and the other team are going to be punished for it. And Charlie really should be converting that one. Real chance there. That could have been goal of the game as well. Lovely little 1-2 2 yards out really should be hit with target. No excuse there, right?
I mean, he showed great composure in front of goal, apart from the finish, of course, but amazing touch to set himself up for the shot, and a great run as well down the middle.
And that is exactly why we call Luka sharpshooter. He's absolutely nailed Pops with a headshot there that has almost decapitated the bald man in the goal. And Pop's absolutely struggling, and he's been taken advantage of there. I think he's still a bit dazed from the ball almost knocking his lights out. I did offer Pops a break, so before you start asking about concussion protocol, we did say to Pops, if we want to stop the clock for 5 minutes, I'm more than happy to let him rest and recover his bearings, but he chose to play on, and Ivan has capitalised on that by catching him off guard and rolling the ball from the corner into the bottom corner. And blue team offered a lifeline there. It's 3-3.
Yeah, Blues have definitely dragged themselves back into this game through their hard work and determination. Reds dropping off a little bit, maybe playing with their heads down. Weird how they were so dominant in the first half, and now in the first 5 minutes of the second, they've just lost their 2-goal lead.
Something not clicking, right? It's strange how things have gone from everything working and then playing in such a fluid way to now things are just not really going their way, and misses like that aren't going to help them. Mish, reliable in front of goal usually. You'd put your money on him to score that, and for him not to finish there, it's a surprising one.
Yeah, and the first episode scored a much harder chance when the keeper was off his line, and there couldn't capitalise on that either.
Simple finish. I think he rushed it again. Maybe the pressure of it being 3-3, the team maybe not being in control of the game right now. Pressure might have got to him. Donis intercepts the ball in a very good area. Now they can break if they are quick, looking to try and wiggle around to make a bit of room to make a chance, and Donis is going to try to skip Luka, but Luka's not letting him get past him there. Charles playing out from the back, gives it to Mish. Mish has been caught in possession, managed to ride it out and keep the ball. Donis now going to try and break the lines of the defence.
Blue team have also stepped up in their defensive duties, much stronger at the back.
And what have we seen here? The Undertaker has made an appearance to deny Mish a sure goal there. What I can say, guys, as the other pitch were leaving, they decided to try and fuck with the lights and turn off the big pitch's lights, and instead they turned off our lights at the worst time possible. And Mish absolutely devastated there. If you go back and look, it was a 1v1. The ball had played across goal. He literally had an open goal to tap the ball into the goal. The lights go absolutely black. The Undertaker appears, pushes Mish off the ball to stop him getting the goal. And it looks like the only person that can stop Mish scoring this game is the WWE superstar, that is the Undertaker. And hopefully we won't be having a return appearance of the Undertaker for the rest of the season, and people will leave our lights the fuck alone.
I remember Mish talking to me about this, and he was absolutely livid about missing that opportunity.
Obviously, we had a lot of people asking me what the decision was going to be. Do we give them a goal? Do we give them a penalty? Do we give them anything? It's an unfortunate circumstance, but at the end of the day, the game goes on.
Yeah, show must go on.
Yeah, there's nothing the blue team did unless they suddenly were paying the other team to look out for them and be their guardian angels, but I doubt it. So I cannot punish a blue team for something that they had no control over. And Ivan is now going to drive out the back, and this could end costly for red. And Gianluca, a chance that you again would put money on him taking.
Definitely.
How has he missed that?
Yeah, Gianluca doesn't seem to be firing on all cylinders in this game. Definitely not showing the clinical ability which he had in the first episode.
I mean, five goals in the first episode. I mean, you'd look at that and you'd think this would be another game that he could have had 3, 4, 5 goals by now. Just not happening yet. And again, another finish goes begging. Gives it back to Luka. Lovely little roll. Has to finish. Great finish there from Luka, aka Gatman. Look at this little fake shot. Lovely to sell Mish to the shops. One hot dog for Mish. Onto his outside of the foot. Thought he would have taken it with his left, but instead chooses to go with the outside Travella shot there. Manages to find the gap between Sean and Pops. And that is 4-3. Is that blue team taking the lead for the first time this episode?
For the first time this episode, yeah. And Gianluca and Luca there switching roles. Gianluca playing the role of provider, and Luca living up to his sharpshooter moniker.
Obviously, the pair of them have been playing at Gudja for the previous season, so they definitely have that natural chemistry chemistry together. Not to mention the Maltese link. If this was Ultimate Team, there would be a bright green chemistry link between the two of them. 10 chemistry for sure. And Gianluca almost scores another header for the second week in a row.
Against the same keeper as well.
Against the same keeper. Maybe he noticed that the one-armed bandit isn't able to save those headers right now. Sean, I think, just starting to tire now. Haven't seen as much from Sean. Starting to fade out of the game. I think these later periods, you can see body language-wise, he's a bit more tired, not as energetic as he was in the first half, and that's definitely something that's going to cost the red team if they do start to fatigue throughout the game. They need to stay lively. As blue team now, you can see, is starting to grow into the game with more confidence. Ball played across, and Gatman really should be putting that one away.
No, first half definitely a stronger performance from Sean, as you correctly said, Dan. Playing a bit with no energy in this half, maybe that's what's not clicking for the red team, because they definitely took advantage of his energy and desire to get on the ball in the first half, and now we can see Pops actually challenging for the ball in the opposing half.
And it's done well, and it's come across, and again, Big Mish, a bit more composure there, and that would be a goal, but they've been caught out, and this could be the end. And this is where we've been talking. 6 minutes to go. Obviously, it makes sense for Pops to come and join the attack when they need a goal, but they've got to be more careful and cautious in possession, because if you get caught like that, you're going to get punished. And Gianluca, the poacher, gifted a present there by Ivan. Ivan probably could have gone for goal himself.
Could have, definitely, but decided to go for the assist, the safer option. Not going to win any awards for goal of the game, but definitely a goal to set Blues in a more confident position.
Exactly, that's a 2-goal deficit for the first time this game. We've said they only just took the lead with the previous goal. So now they've got a little bit of breathing space, and they can start to relax just a little bit and take their time now. Charles trying to find that far corner, just a little bit off. Another Revy there. Luca doing absolutely superb to play the ball through the lines and find the open players. Pops joining the attack. Here we go, the one-arm bandit on the charge. Played through. Pops almost gets a goal there. Would have been his second goal of the season. Obviously, he did score in the previous episode. And Andrea again tries to take that opportunity to catch the goalkeeper off. Red team on the onslaught here, trying very, very fast now. They're not taking their time, just rushing the attacks forward. You can see there's definitely that sense of urgency now in the game. 5 minutes remaining, they need a goal. Ball played across, Ivan to finish it, and Sean's done well to get back in. Donis on the ball, gets dispossessed by Luca. Can they take advantage? Sean has done really well to win the ball back for a second time. Now he's going to charge forward. Donis does well, Revy's it around the corner. And he's hit the side netting there, Sean. That's a position that he usually scores in. Just couldn't find it.
Closed on very well by Andrea, though, has to be said.
Gianluca picks up the ball, goes wide. Blasts it wide there. Red team have got 4 minutes to come up with an answer. They need 2 goals. What are your thoughts, Steve? Do we think we're going to get there or not?
If they show any performance close to what they were showing in the first half, definitely they could get very easily 2 goals to get themselves back in the game.
And just like that, that's a goal they really, really need. Sean gets his second goal of the game. Lovely little play. And this is where Flykeeper really shows its effectiveness. Did you see the position that Mish took up in the corner there? Just spreads the pitch. Pops picks up the ball wide, which forces the player to step forward. Now we've got the overload. It's a 3v2. They play the ball into the corner, and a little 1-2 like that takes everyone out the game. And Sean has a simple one-on-one finish. That is a great goal. Definitely taken out the futsal playbook.
Yeah, and high reward play.
Exactly. That's what they need to get back into the game. And now it's a 1-goal deficit. It's all to play for with 3 minutes left in the game. Luca driving forward, and no one's closed him down. He's been shown the line. He said thank you very much. Left-footed finish, beats Pops at the near post, and just like that, all the hard work that Red just put in to get back into the game, gone. 6-4. We need something urgent from Red team if they're going to try and get back into the game now. It is looking unlikely as we head into the final 2-minute stage. Red team struggling to find that creative spark. They need to break through the blue wall that is in front of them. Donis on the ball, plays it across. Charles with a double nutmeg, absolutely sells everyone that he's turning to pass the ball. Revy's back on himself, and look at this finish. Left foot through the legs of Luca, through the legs of Andrea, and he has snuck the Red team back into the game. The final minute and a half is going to be explosive now as Red team push on to try and score that final goal they need to get back into the game. Sean on the ball, Nothing silly now. Red team need to keep the ball and wait for that key moment. They've got one or two more very good chances at the end of this game, and you do not want to lose the ball and give away that hard work. As we see the ball going back to Pops now, is he going to join the attack? It would make sense for Pops to come out now and help them in that final minute, just to give them that overload, to try and create that extra pocket of space where someone is free. No one's closed down Pops, and he's wasted the opportunity. Definitely something where Pops usually can put a better output there and get a shot on target and test Andrea. Ivan gives the ball over to Gianluca. This is the guy you want to try and make things happen as he plays it over to Luca. Luca tries to find him at the back post, but it's been intercepted. If there's an overload, it's now. Donis skips the line, pushes through. Ivan's picked up the ball. This could be the end of the game here. And Donis fouls Ivan there, much to the dismay of Ivan. Very unhappy there. Ball comes out. Pops has punched it out to Donis, and now there is a few seconds left on the clock. Can Red Team make something happen? Twinkle Toes at his finest here, has to try and make it happen, and we've got the final play now. The next time the ball goes out, I believe we could be looking at the end of the game. Donis beats one, plays it into the corner to Mish. Mish plays it back out to Donis. It's played back. We are at the final stop now. The next time the ball goes out, the game is over. Andrea's got the ball in his hands and smartly throws it out wide. And that is the end of the game. Blue team hung on.
Not only hung on, fought back from 2-goal deficits and then just didn't relinquish their lead at all. Reds could have shown a bit more strength and composure in the second half, definitely showing that in the last 5 minutes of the second half. Wonder where they went for the first 15 minutes.
Where did that energy go? You just saw them fade out for a good 15 minutes of the second half there, just a shadow of how they played before. And that just allowed Blue, like we've said in previous episodes, the second you start sleeping in the five-a-sides, you get punished. It doesn't matter how many goals ahead you are. If you make one or two mistakes, you allow the other team straight back into the game. And just like that, momentum turns and the game flips on its head, as we saw today. Blue team firmly take over, and Red team just struggled to really get back into it after the Blue team got into the lead.
Yeah, this game a perfect example of the drama which is left to unfold in the rest of the season, and how easy it is for a game to just switch completely 180 degrees from one team winning to the other team winning the game overall.
Especially with the talent on the field, and let's talk about one talent in particular. We've got Ivan Bojovic, man of the match. Very, very good performance from him. All-round performance, should we say. We've got goals, we've got assists, we've got rock-solid defending, carrying the ball out of danger. Really, really composed. Showed his experience in the small-sided format. Definitely one to look out for the rest of the season. And we're going to get a little highlight package of him here now, just showing some of his plays. A little header across the box there. Another little Revy pass across the box. Luca there should have punished them and made sure of that chance, and that could have been another assist for Ivan. But definitely one of the creators of the Blue team today. 14 defensive plays, 2 assists, 2 goals, overall 22 points. We're looking at goal of the game now as well. We've got Gianluca has been voted goal of the game for a second week in a row.
And this is in one of his lower performing games as well, has to be said. Not firing on all cylinders, as we've commented throughout the game, and still managing to get goal of the game and showing a great performance in front of goal when he's needed.
Let's not devalue the assist here in the work of Luka Mijic here. Intercepts the pass, hits them on the counter-attack. Lovely Revy pass there, perfectly weighted, straight into the feet of Gianluca. First touch is beautiful to set it up for the volley, and that is just lovely technique there, right into the corner of the goal, off the post and in. And these are the times where it's going to really start to add up. 2 goal of the game awards. That's an extra 10 points onto his overall MVP score. And we're going to start to see, when the leaderboards load up shortly, how that's affected his tally. Like we said, it's been a low scoring game for him overall, but when you're getting goal of the game, that's an extra 5 points onto your game. That's the equivalent of 2 goals and an assist. So let's look at the goal scoring tally. Obviously after week 2, Gianluca has created a little bit more distance, maybe not as much as we had expected. 7 goals for him in 2 games now. Lovely tally. But he has given the likes of Mish and Luca a chance to catch up to him. They're coming behind him 4 goals apiece. And then after game week 2, we've got Ivan and Sean on 2 goals each as well. Obviously, there's a big deficit between 4th and 5th and 1st place, but Big Mish is definitely a contender, I think, for top goal scorer this season. If he can stay on form and keep scoring goals, he's definitely going to be one to push Gianluca to the end.
Yeah, Mish is definitely an all-rounder. Can score, can assist, can create, makes those runs, defends as well. You see him everywhere on the pitch. Definitely a lot more to see from him in the season. But Gianluca, I don't know, like first episode got 5 goals, this one got 2. Who knows, maybe he has another great performance in any of the other episodes and just makes that discrepancy larger between 1st and 2nd.
I think if he can turn on the style that he showed in the first game, there's a very good chance he could just keep pushing clearer and clearer, and it will be down to another goal scorer to step into the frame.
Definitely.
Start scoring at the same rate as him. Obviously, 5 goals a game is very difficult to keep up with, so we're going to keep our eyes on Gianluca for the next few games for sure and see if his output continues or whether he starts to slow down. Let's look at the assists. Obviously, Donis, the creator today, 3 assists, definitely played his part. He's jumped up ahead to the top of the leaderboard now. 5 assists. We've got Gatman and Big Mish on 3 as well. Definitely showing the well-roundedness there, the likes of Luca and Mish. They're top. They're sitting 2nd and 3rd of both the goals and the assists. So very impressive from them.
Yeah, definitely impressive from both of them, showing how they can just show up in different positions on the pitch. But Donis, I mean, commendable effort today. First 3 goals from the Reds, 3 assists from him. Definitely the main creator in that team. Manages to control the game, and whenever he's firing on all cylinders and getting those assists, he's a great asset to any team, especially in these small format games.
I mean, you look at the game today, there was a 2-goal deficit in the end, or was it reduced to 1 by the end of it?
Yeah,
just 1 goal at the end of it. If anyone was going to create that last chance that was going to secure Red Team any points from the game, definitely it's going to be Donis. You're going to be looking to shove the ball to Donis and hope that Twinkle Toes can do that little extra special something.
And that's what they were doing in the last 5 minutes, last 3-5 minutes, just giving the ball to Donis. Let's see what he can create. Let's see if he can make something for us. Unfortunately, couldn't capitalize 100% on that. But I mean, there are 5 people in the team, not just Donis.
We look at the best defender stats, and quite a mammoth difference there. Luca sitting on top of the leaderboard with 40 defensive plays compared to the next best player. Look who it is, Big Mish. That's Luca and Mish competing for 3 different charts there, really showing their well-roundedness. Jack of all trades for sure, defensive output, goals, assists, you name it, they can do it. They're proving real star players here in the series. But Mish and Luca, as well as Juan and Ivan, all within 2 points, 4 points of each other. But there is a big gap at the top there. I can see Luca really running away with it if he keeps putting in defensive displays as he has been. It's going to require a few stinky games from him to fall off and get caught by anyone by the looks of things, or someone is going to have to turn up and be an absolute rock at the back.
Definitely, unless Luca decides to focus more on his goal scoring or assists, definitely showing his strength at the back, being that rock, the last man in front of any keeper. I can speak from a keeper's perspective. It's always a blessing to have someone like that in front of you who you can trust and who's going to be making all of those defensive interventions. But we'll see throughout the rest of the season if he decides to focus more on climbing up the charts in either goals or assists and leaving those defensive duties to someone else.
Speaking of goalkeepers, let's take a look at week 2 most saves so far, and I'm going to pass you over to the goalkeeper commentator. Cameraman, tell us.
Yeah, well, Pops in first. I mean, quite surprising because he was playing with an injury in 2 games, but still getting the most saves. Andrea definitely showing an amazing performance in this game, has to be said. I would have given him the keeper of this game, making some very, very tough saves. Pops being beaten on his near post. Andrea showing he can get to the ground, make those high saves, create as well for the rest of his team. And Reese, in third, just had 1 game till now, has to catch up, but definitely a strong showing from all of the keepers who have shown up till now.
I think one thing to note, obviously, with the goalkeepers, Pops has sat on 2 games, Andrea and Reece both on 1. So Pops is obviously going to have that little bit of an advantage now. As the season goes on, the games are going to even out and we're going to see who can average the most saves per game. Reece, a little bit unfortunate considering, obviously, being the goalkeeper on such a dominant team when you're playing pros versus the unsigned players. Probably wasn't his busiest game compared to Pops, who in the other net was being called into action a lot more in comparison. So definitely something to consider there. Maybe that game might end up costing Reece later down the line in the leaderboards. Going to require a few big games from him where he's kept busy throughout the game in order to try and catch up. That is a big tally to try and catch 25 difference. Andrea obviously putting in 20 in his first game. He's looking on average to put in another solid performance the next time we see him. Very, very versatile in goal, can play with his feet, very agile, and his reflexes are phenomenal. You have to sit him down 2 or 3 times before you have a real chance of scoring.
Yeah, reflexes are top notch from Andrea. Reece, I'm sure we're going to see some more amazing performances from him. As you said, he was on a very dominant team in the first episode, so the less chances that your opposing team get, obviously the less saves which you can make. Maybe we need to put him in a weaker team next time.
I think so. Maybe that's the case. I think with pro players being on all sides, he's definitely going to have a harder test in the next game that he plays. And let's finish off, guys, talking about the overall MVP leaderboard. This is the one that really matters. And we've got Luca at the top, Gatman dialing it in, 42 points overall. Another great performance from him today. Gianluca chasing him by the skin of his teeth, 39 points. Again, that goal of the game is really going to have helped kept him in the lead at the second place there. Mish trailing behind by a good 15 points. Again, that's where these goal of the game and man of the match awards really come into play. Obviously, Gianluca getting a 10-point advantage over someone like Mish, who hasn't won 2 goal of the game awards. Pops on 23.5 points. Obviously, saves count as half a point. That's why you're going to see a few half points in here and there. And Ivan's first game has been a solid one and kept him up in there. If you see the difference between him and top spot now is another 21 points, so that's potential of one more game, and he's right up there in the leaderboard. So it's all to play for so far in week 2. I think week 3, 4 and 5 are really going to be the ones that tell us which players start to create that distance at the top of the tables, and we start to see some players really start to emerge as stars of the series. And we're going to have a lot more storylines to talk about as we go. Guys, it's been a pleasure having you. If you've enjoyed the episode, please make sure you tune in for episode 3 next week, Saturday, 6 p.m. And for now, make sure you leave a like on the episode, comment if there's any players that you would like to see in the next season or who you're most excited to see in the coming episodes from the confirmed players so far. And make sure you subscribe to the Unprofessional Footballer to get more football, five-a-side and podcast content. Steve, overall thoughts before we sign out?
Yeah, it was a very balanced game. Definitely showing the potential for the rest of the season with these games turning on their head completely. We're going to keep seeing the domination from Luca, Gianluca and Mish, I think, in most of the leaderboards. So I'm very excited to see how they play out together, to see who's going to be first, second and third by the end of the season.
Right, guys, it's been a pleasure. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.